Well, yeah, certainly. I mean, it was our fault. We made a mistake. Spotter said it was clear. It wasn't clear, and, you know, I didn't want to tear my car up, tear his car up either. I respect everybody, and I demand respect. And, you know, I apologized to the guy when he came over the car, explained to him what happened, and then he took it to another level when he started calling me an idiot and whatever else. And I don't appreciate that. I'm not going to take it. I told him how I felt. I called him out. He didn't show. You know, and so, you know, I'm good with it if he's good with it, but I'm not going to be disrespected by no means.
Yeah, I guess I had a dinner date at Applebee's last night that I didn't find out about until it was too late. It's a shame. Love their riblets and boneless wings, but...
All right, folks, welcome back to Meet Me at Applebee's, your number one unrefined motorsports podcast. It's Brien here with Rob and Ashley, and this week we've got New Hampshire to talk about because Rob was there,
yes,
at least for some of it, and all sorts of other stuff. So, folks, how we doing this week?
Doing good. Normally this would be a very tough show for me if I was up there for the whole weekend. I was only there on Saturday, so my brain and body are pretty nominal, I would say. Didn't get into too much trouble, which is probably for the best because I'm a senior citizen. But over to our other senior citizen on the show, Truelove. How you doing, Meemaw?
I'm here. I'm depressed today.
It's a sad day. We should acknowledge Dolly Parton before we get going here. I don't know if she had fuck all to do with NASCAR at all. I mean, I think she sponsored a car too. And
yeah, she sponsored Reddick's Xfinity car years ago.
Yeah, but yeah, just an absolute icon and one of the last of the breed. It's just Willie Nelson out there now, but I mean, Dolly was kind of. It almost feels a little disingenuous to compare the two, since she was kind of her own particular ray of sunshine. Yeah, I know you're really bummed about that. You anything you want to say about Dolly before we move on?
I'm not very good with my words like you are, so.
Okay, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, the world won't be the same without Dolly Parton, and hopefully whoever takes over all of our operations and estates and charities and all that aren't complete shitheads. I think the family's in a good spot. I don't know. That's my hope, but I'd really hope that we don't start seeing her name used in ways that I think would make us all disgusted, which sometimes happens when someone passes away and their name remains as a cultural icon. So, but yeah, go listen to some records. Go stop by BJ's Coaster and then go over to Dollywood when you're done there and
hit up her new Dolly Travel Center truck stop.
Yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you happen to be in Branson, the Dixie Stampede is still open, so you can go check that out. Or it's just called the Stampede now, I think. So.
Yeah, they had to change the name.
Yeah. Wonder why. But yeah, rest in peace, Dolly. What a shame.
Well, with that, yeah, now we got to talk about some NASCAR stuff. And
yes,
as mentioned, the weekend really started on Saturday. I mean, I think there was some on-track action Friday, but Saturday was the big day for Rob with the Truck Series and the Modifieds at New Hampshire. So, yeah, back to Rob.
Yeah, hang on a second. Sorry, I decided to get a beer for this, and then I dropped it. It's closed. It didn't spill, but I'm not going to drink that one, so I got to get situated here. But yes, I was at Loudon. There was on-track action on Friday. They had the dirt duels over at the dirt track. That was on Flow Racing.
Tim Duggar played.
Tim Duggar did play.
Mm-hmm, you missed that.
All you Duggar heads out there got to experience that out of the dirt track. I didn't really watch much of this. In fact, I was in bed pretty early on Friday night because I was going to be heading up to the track pretty early, rolling out of my driveway like 6:30, something like that, 7 to get up there in time to do all the things I wanted to do. But I did hear that the midget feature was pretty bitchin', so looked like a great crowd out there. Glad to see the dirt track find some success, and hopefully Tim Duggar picked up some new fans, because last year when he played on Sunday, the crowd was a little light, so tough sledding. But yes, I did go up on Saturday. Had a whole rough itinerary laid out for my day, starting with I don't know if I should say this on the show, but I guess I'm going to. Kyle Armstrong was able to hook me up with a very 11th hour garage pass. Friend of the program, Kyle Ayala, who's going to be featured heavily in my storytelling here. He was trying to hook me up, but Connor Hall ended up on the entry list for the race, and his family was going to be there. So they kind of get precedence over me, because who the fuck am I? But without a garage pass, it would have been really tough to see any of the people I was trying to see. So shout out to Kyle for hooking me up there. He didn't have to do that, and I don't know what kind of strings he had to pull to get that worked out. But thanks to him and Simpson for hooking me up. That was awesome. Don't go bothering him for shit, by the way, if you're listening to this. This is like a one-time deal. So
Yeah, he's gonna be mad that you said that.
yeah, but I do want to shout him out, because without him, I would not have had the Saturday that I did, and it was a great one. So I went and picked up my passes. Actually, before that, I stopped into my favorite gas station about a mile away from Loudon and picked up some bottles of Johnny Bootlegger, which is the only place in New England that I'm pretty sure you can grab that.
Boy, did you.
Yeah, got some for home. I packed a cooler with a few of them and some beers, just in case I grew a wild hair and decided to stay the night. I did park over in the overflow lot at the X lot, just in case, because you can sleep out there and not get in any trouble. So I was set up and got myself ready to go, but, I'm going to be in the garage, so I got to keep it pretty easy. So I only had one bootlegger before I went in. Got into the garage just in time for the truck garage to open, and there's a lot of activity during Loudon weekend, so there's a whole lot of hurry up and wait for all the teams. So Cup Garage opens at like 9 or 8:30, something like that. And they get on track pretty quickly for practice. I think they were starting practice at 10. Truck Garage opens at 10:30. Modified's at 11:30. So there's a whole lot of dudes wearing Dickies and black polos just standing around. And I made my way over to the Truck Garage, the gate. I was like, maybe I'll see Kyle. They're lined up over there. Maybe I don't want to get in there too far, because I have no real business being in here. And maybe I'll just see him, thinking that maybe somebody would have chosen a different color than black. But nope, there's 200 guys, solid black with Dickies on them. It's like, well, I'll never catch this fucking guy. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see him there with his mustache and the ponytail, and he kind of looks up and gives me the wave. And I was like, yes. Got you, bitch. So I walked in with the team, and I've been in the a NASCAR garage before. I went to Loudon last year and kind of wandered around a little bit. That was a cool deal. But I'd never been with anybody who was actually actively working for a team, and I kind of had an idea how the day-to-day works down there. But actually seeing how much time these guys have to stand around and wait, that's got to be taxing, man. The schedule of a NASCAR mechanic or pit crew member or team member is just a lot of frantic activity all at once, and then a 45-minute break until the next thing happens.
Yep. Lots of snacks.
Yes, which worked out for me, because I did get to spend some time with Kyle and shoot the shit. And Ron Hornaday was down in his trailer. That was pretty cool. I didn't go say hi to him. But he's like, oh, there's Hornaday, and he's just sitting there in one of those big director's chairs holding court.
Is he looking sunburnt as usual?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, as you'd expect. But yeah, I just hung out with Kyle for a little while. It was good to see him. And anytime I find myself in a situation like this, I try and remember what 10-year-old, I think I said this last year as well, but I try and remember what 10-year-old me would think of this. Because, not to sound like an asshole or jaded or anything, but we've all been around racetracks a lot. We've had some pretty cool opportunities between the three of us that a lot of fans haven't had the opportunity to do. And after a while, it does become somewhat routine, and I've been here before, I've done this before, it's just a garage area at a racetrack. It's all it is. But there was a moment where I looked up and, Kyle Larson whizzes by and Chase Elliott whizzes by, and it's like, holy shit, I'm in the middle of the fucking Winston Cup garage right now. This is sick. Because I think a lot of the times I try not to feel like or act like a DARF. And again, I just wanted to be out of the way and not have my jaw hanging open with a binder full of, hero cards or whatever, which there were many of those, don't get me wrong. But that's not who I want to be. But in the pursuit of being cool, I guess, sometimes it's easy to forget how badass this stuff actually is. So once I noticed that, I wandered over and stood by the fence and just watched the Cup cars rip by for a little while. That was pretty badass. I've never seen him from that angle before in the infield at Loudon. So that was that was cool. But anyway, after that, once NASCAR finally allowed the Nice guys to go over and open the garage up, because God forbid they touch anything while the Cup guys are on track, I decided I would take a little walk around the facility. So I went all the way through the tunnel. And again, Loudon does not have a tunnel that leads into the fan zone or the grandstands or anything like that. It goes all the way out to the main drag in front of the speedway, and you kind of got to walk all the way back around. So,
Jeez.
Went out there, check out the merch haulers. Also, speaking of merchandise, rest in peace gypsy tents at Loudon. They no longer exist. The little shithole gas station that they used to park in and set up, that's also closed, which is sad because this place was the quintessential gas station across from a NASCAR track. It was just kind of gray, there's a lot of concrete in there, and the people working there, they definitely work 7 days a week there,
Right.
and if they could smoke inside, they would. They're probably still mad that they can't anymore, and they probably remember doing so because they've worked there that long. It was just the vibe was awesome in there. I miss that place, but now the only option is the Rusty Lantern across the street, which is nice, don't get me wrong, but it's not the same as the gritty old shithole across the street. And where else can you go buy a Tony Stewart shirt, a Trump shirt, and a Hillary Clinton shirt, all from the same vendor? I don't know. I guess we'll have to go to a different state to find that. But rest in peace to all of them. Hopefully I'll see them again someday, somewhere. But around this time, my buddy Kyle Beckman, Carson Hocevar's photographer, he texted me. He's like, "Hey, where are you at?" Because I had texted him earlier, and he was on the other side of the fence. And part of the reason for wanting to go over there, aside from just checking out the fan zone and wandering around, looking at some DARFs, maybe buy some things, was to see Kyle. And naturally, we swapped positions. I got up there, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I should text Kyle." I was like, "Hey, you still over here?" And he was like, "No, I'm in the garage now." And I was like, "God damn it."
Too many Kyles, first of all.
Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, 3 Kyles have been featured in my story so far, and I've only been talking for 3 minutes. But wandered around, got one of those Chili's hats, because those are cool.
Of course you did.
They're badass little hats. I don't know. And I don't...
We're in Applebee's, sir.
We are in Applebee's. I didn't wear it in here tonight. I know my place. And I think there is something to me buying merch for drivers, because they seem to have complete come-aparts anytime I buy something new. Previous example of this was buying my Kyle Larson hat at Darlington. And what happened? An equally embarrassing weekend for Carson, I think, which we'll get into in a few minutes. But yeah, that was about it. After that, truck race was getting ready to get started, or at least the pre-race ceremonies and all that. And my original plan was to just wait for the DARF stairs to be put at the start-finish line and walk down that way. But that was going to take a while, and I figured Kyle, since I was going to go say hi to Kyle Beckman, he might be out of there because the Cup garage is just closed. Also, I missed seeing our friend of the program, Ross. Of course, he works for Trackhouse. He mentioned him a bunch in this show. I remembered to text him 5 minutes after he left the Speedway, since the Cup garage closed at 1, and he was done by 12:30. So he was already grocery shopping. So I hate that I didn't get to see him, but I guess there's always a next time. But so I decided to walk the full 47 miles back down into the infield. Said hi to Kyle. Kind of told
one?
Kyle Beckman, photographer extraordinaire. And then after that, it was time to go see the other Kyle, Kyle Ayala.
Kyle and Calby.
And I'll get the gushing out of the way here. Kyle was a guest on our show, as you know. He's been on here a couple times, but his first appearance was, like a year and a half ago, something like that. And he was not working in NASCAR when he was on our show first, which, again, this is our 4th season. There's not many of these episodes, right? We haven't been doing it that long. And now he is on a truck team. And his trajectory and the hard work and just the pure sweat equity he's put into this thing to find a place in NASCAR at one of the top levels, and actually be in a series where he could actually do some work, because the Cup Series is, it's a lot of bolting parts together, but they're still fabbing shit in the Truck Series. They're building these trucks, and he's hands-on with all that, which is awesome, and I know that's what he in his heart of hearts, really wanted to do. And to watch him roll the 44 out there to pit road and just be a part of this thing was fucking awesome. I felt like a proud dad. He's not that much younger than me, I don't think, but still, I think we can all say that just how proud of Kyle we are and how awesome it is to see him achieve his dreams and excel in them.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely excelling.
I'm really happy you got to see him. In person, live in action, living the dream.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He was not over the wall this weekend. He was doing a lot of handing fuel cans across the wall and just kind of doing whatever because they had their regular travel pit crew with them. But getting ahead of myself here. So I meet up with Kyle. They got the truck parked out there. I'm kind of hanging out on the grid. It's cool, I did take a look at, they had John Hunter Nemechek and Chris Wright's truck parked back to back there. That's where they qualified. So you knew that was going to be a fucking problem.
And it was.
And it absolutely was. And then I go link up with Kyle. He introduces me to some of the guys on his team. He introduced me to Andreas Perez de Lara. Sweet guy. He's a young kid. I guess he comes from go-karts. I really don't know much about this guy at all. I know he's out there.
Yeah.
And I pay attention to the 44 on the scoring sheet just because I want to know where Kyle and the boys finish. But I've never really paid much mind to Andreas out there.
He doesn't get a whole lot of coverage either.
He doesn't, yeah. And I think the only time I've really noticed him was last year at Loudon when they led a bunch of laps. They pulled some wacky strategy, and he stayed up front for a little while. He did not win the race, but it was a good run. And this year, it's been kind of an honest blue-collar kind of year for them. They've had some decent flashes here and there, but they've also had some bad luck, and, they're not going to make the chase, and... yeah, you just don't hear much about him. But it turns out he comes from go-karts, and he very much looks like it. I can't explain it. Just look at a picture of that guy. And it's like, oh, yeah, he just came straight from go-karts, didn't he? But he was super sweet, pretty funny guy. I liked him. And he ran off to go do whatever go-kart drivers do before races. And then it came time, someone blew a whistle. It's the equivalent of the 10-minute horn. I was like, I got to get the hell out of here. I got on the other side of the wall. And I start talking to Kyle and a couple of the other guys for a second. And then before we know it, we hear that the anthem is being announced. Here's Miss Whatever from American Idol. She's doing both the Canadian and American national anthems. Mm-hmm. And before you know it, the PR person is dragging me in line, and I'm lined up with the Nice guys on pit road for the anthem. And I'm out there for the prayer and everything, and there's some, I don't think I made it on TV, but there were definitely cameras walking by, and I was like, this is going to be the fucking, I look like such a piece of shit out here in a Dick Trickles shirt, and the back's all ripped up,
I was looking for you on TV.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, they were pretty far towards the back, so I don't think they were paying much attention. They had a bad qualifying run on Friday. I think they rolled off 29th, which is, that's a tough position to be. And then, I wasn't sure. Kyle had mentioned that maybe I get to watch the race from the top of the pit box, or at least be up there for a little bit, which I've never done that before. That's new territory for me. I'm not a big fan of watching races from the infield in any capacity, just because you can't see shit. But this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and like, if it comes to it, great. If not, I'll walk around the grandstands and I'll watch from there, and I'll try and catch Kyle on the way out. But right after that, the PR person's like, all right, hand me the headset on the top when you get up there, and I'll get you dialed in. And I was like, oh, shit, so it's happening. So I climb up there, and I spent the entire fucking race on top of that box. And I thought I would be able to be slick and change the scanner to, like, PRN or whoever was doing the broadcast so I could know what was going on. But they had that sumbitch locked up like Fort Knox. So it's just me and Andreas Perez out there all day. Which, honestly, I'm kind of glad that was the case, because I don't think I've ever watched a race focused on a single competitor before, especially not from that vantage point. And hearing all the intra-team communications and also, this, not to get ahead of myself, but this kid's kind of a ripper. I mean, he climbed from 29th to 11th in the first stage, and he was just picking cars off. And on the radio, he's either silent or calm, cool, and collected. He seems to give excellent feedback to his team. He's awesome. So he kind of gained a new fan in me, and he's kind of picked up this oval racing thing pretty quickly. I think he did run the Mexico Series for a little while, but yeah, Andres Perez de Lara. He's a handy little race car driver. But now I guess we can start talking about the race itself. It did not start well for Luke Baldwin, who graciously stepped in for Frankie Muniz, or maybe it's the other way around. Frankie Muniz graciously handed him the keys to his truck because Luke didn't qualify.
Yep.
It's just right off the bat.
Frankie only qualified 30th, so.
Yeah, he was back there, and because of the driver change, they started dead fucking last, and it seemed like Lane Riggs didn't take off, or it was a very slow start. So the whole field kind of accordion behind him on that inside row, and by the time it got back to Luke Baldwin in 90th place, he just wrecked the fuck out of that truck in the first 100 yards. So his awesome year continued on Saturday afternoon. But yeah, I don't really know a lot of what happened in that because I was really focused on the 44. So, Truelove, you have any notes on what was going on out there?
Throughout the whole race?
Yeah, I can kind of interject as we move through the events here.
Well, I did want to mention before the race some sad news. Brian's favorite driver, D.L. Wilson, a Republican politician from Texas, failed to qualify, so we did not get to see him race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a shame. Also, Dawson Sutton missed the show. And then I don't even know if this is as big a news as Frankie Muniz stepping aside. I don't know. But Tony Breidinger was out of the truck this weekend, and they moved Dawson Sutton over there to keep his points hope alive. And they were pitted right next to us. And I'll tell you what, for the rough day that the 44 team ultimately ended up having, I can tell you Dawson Sutton had it way worse on Saturday.
There was a big wreck early. Landon Lewis, who also drives for Nice Motorsports, got wrecked by John Hunter.
Yep, that was the first of his terrorist acts.
Yep. So did you offer to go help the boys fight John Hunter?
I was ready. I mean, listen, they're going to let me sit in your real estate. I'm going to go defend the family here. They were not thrilled, obviously. I don't know how big of a team they have and how much the separation is between the different cars. I think there is a little bit of that. So maybe Kyle and the boys aren't putting Landon's truck back together for next week, but they certainly weren't thrilled, I can tell you that.
There was a moment when the booth, I think it was between stage 1 and 2, but the booth got live news from Bob Pockris that Regan Smith will be in a colleague truck at Bristol and Charlotte. And Regan Smith was in the booth, and it was news to him that he would also be running Charlotte. So that's kind of funny.
That's awesome. I also got news on the top of the box that trucks are going to Bowman Gray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the car chief reached over to the crew, or one of the engineers reached over to the crew chief, and I forget the crew chief's name, I apologize, but it's like, hey man, look, we're going to Bowman Gray. It's on Twitter.
It's a heck of a place to find out.
It is, yeah. Lots of people learning about stuff they're doing in their careers from Bob Pockris.
Yep. I don't know. I mean, Zillisch won stage 1 and stage 2.
Yeah, I don't know how it looked on TV, but that battle between Riggs and him was pretty engaging in person for the, half a mile I could see anyway.
Yeah. Early in stage 3, Riggs clinched the regular season top spot or top seed or whatever the fuck they're calling it. And then immediately to detract from that news, John Hunter Nemechek spun out and collected Timmy Hill and Chris Wright. So,
yeah, the axis of evil taken out in one fell swoop. Except for Timmy Hill, I don't need to put that evil on him. That's not nice.
Poor Timmy, he's just caught up in it. Let's see, 45 to go. Bell got spun by Chandler Smith. And really, just the end of the race came down to a pretty exciting battle at the cut line to see who would make it in the final spot for the chase.
Yeah.
So it was, I mean, they were tied at one point, Stuart Friesen and Tyler Ankrum. And Jake Garcia?
Jake Garcia was in the mix for a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really just paying attention to that. Gavin Bichelle wrecked with 6 to go, and that brought out the first overtime restart. And then, of course, on that overtime restart, there was another caution for Gio spinning in second place all by himself and collecting a whole bunch of cars, trucks, including Perez. So.
Yeah, I didn't see him get collected, but I knew it happened because of all the pounding on the box in front of me. And this is something that I don't know how the fuck this came together, but the side of Perez's truck got ripped open like there was a can opener involved, and there was sheet metal hanging off. And I see one of the engineers flip a laptop around, and they have a spy shot of the side of their car, like high definition, like perfectly crisp, and they're sitting there going through all of the different components. It's like, it looks good. Can we keep him out there? And like they're just having this discussion in front of me, like, can we get away with this? And so they bring a NASCAR official over, and they're asking him, and he's saying that they're gonna make him come in, and they're gonna get black flagged if they don't, and blah blah blah. And this is the first time I've ever seen a crew chief within 2 feet of me shouting at a NASCAR official. You know.
Spicy.
I believe, I think I can say this on the show, the exact words were, "It's not fucking falling off!"
Sure, he's not the first or the last crew chief to ever shout that.
Yeah, but man, the pure stress of that 30-second span of like, okay, the truck is round in turn 3, we gotta know what the fuck we can do right now. And just the sort of bargaining, and the official is, to his credit, he was trying to help him out, I think. But I don't know who ended up making the call, whether it was Andreas, the spotter, NASCAR, whatever, but they did bring him down pit road, and they brought the big circular saw out to rip that sheet metal off of, which in the moment, my first thought was, yeah, it sucks for Kyle and the guys, but also I want that. I want to take that home with me, which I did, and I forgot to ask for it. But I tried to get the fuck out of there as quickly as possible because that sick little accident by Gio knocked them from a probable top 10, or at least an 11, 12, something like that. A decent day, salvaged after a rough qualifying to finish 27th, which was pretty much where they started. So all that for nothing. That's racing right there. But yeah, that was tough to watch.
I think that's about it. I mean,
Riggs won, right?
Riggs got his 6th win of the year, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. He really burnt the fuck down after that one. He definitely parked it on the pit wall and just held the gas down for a little while. As I was walking out of there, he was burning out the entire time I was walking down pit road. It was pretty entertaining.
Wow. Yeah. But yeah, Tyler Ankrum clinched the final spot by 7 points over Stuart Friesen. So
yeah,
they've got their 10 drivers locked in that are going for the championship.
Yeah, also, Stuart Friesen and a bunch of others were shifting during this race. I don't know if that's a normal thing at Loudon now or not, but I did get turned on to that by Perez's crew chief pointing at it on the TV like, look at that, Stewie's shifting. It was a mix of like being in a professional sports situation and also sitting at Buffalo Wild Wings watching a race on the TV, because I can't hear it. I can just barely see it on this little TV. And there's a guy in front of me pointing at it and talking about it. And it's like, oh, yeah. Also, shout out to Mikey Christopher Jr. He had a great day in one of the Halmar trucks, running top 10 most of the day. I think he ended up 11th or 12th. I forget where he settled, but
yeah.
Very cool to see him out there in that Teddy Christopher tribute. And I know that all the modified fans and New England racing fans were very happy to see him have a good run, because last year it didn't go so well for him. So nice to see him get some redemption this year.
Mm-hmm. It's on my truck notes.
Yeah, it was a pretty decent
Brien?
race from what I could tell.
Brien, did you watch this race at all?
I mean, I did, but I was watching it at a brewery with my parents on my phone, so like, you know, I was kind of half paying attention, but it seemed decent.
Yeah.
So you
So
had a similar situation to me, yeah.
Yeah, somewhat.
I will say I've never been that close to a live pit stop before, for a NASCAR style anyway. I've been in the pits at modified races and late model shows and shit before, and I've seen that, but it's not this. These guys are good, man. I don't know how the fuck they do it. That was pretty intense, and again, right after that, again, my intention was to get the fuck out of there as quickly as possible. Not only because there was a modified race, but I know all these guys were in bad moods, and the last thing they need is some dumbass standing around, you know, oh, sorry, you had a bad day, you know. And they have a plane to catch as well. Yeah. And so gave Kyle a hug. You know, we'll see him at the World Finals, and he'll be off the clock then, so we can hang out and relax. But again, thanks to him for such a special day, a very cool day. Again, I never would have had that experience if it wasn't for Kyle, and we're all real proud of him for what he's been able to do in such a short time. He's in the show.
Yeah.
Also, I feel bad for him because we hugged, they packed up, they went and got on the plane to go, and then the same fog and mist that ultimately delayed the modified races we're about to talk about kept them on the ground for about 4 hours. So,
Jesus.
yeah. Probably should have stuck behind. But, you know, I don't make the decisions for Nice. But anyway, after that, it was time to get the hell out of there. I'm not watching a modified race from the pits down there. This show is too good. You got to see the whole track. And fortunately, from Loudon, you can kind of see everything from almost anywhere in the house. So I just had to get out of the pits and get back around to the grandstands, which I did. Decided it was time to stop off for a quick bite to eat because the only thing in my stomach was that Johnny Bootlegger from earlier and a little bottle of water, and I'd say about a can of Zins. So I needed to get something in there. A $16 pre-made Caesar chicken wrap was the choice from the Rusty Lantern Mobile concession stand. Little known fact, and I don't recommend everybody do this, but did you guys know that if you open up a beer at the concession stand and you finish it before you get to the register, it's free? It's on the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I haven't tried that to know, so.
Well, it works there. So. But our DARF for the week comes from this. It's not me, believe it or not, because that is some DARF behavior. But the guy right in front of me, older gentleman. Obviously, I don't know his name because this is real life. But this place has they had like a little thing of sandwiches and beers, which is a little different from the normal racetrack concessions. But they also had the roller dogs and the cheeseburgers and the pretzels. All of them are self-serve, which is kind of gross, the pretzels, because, you know, it's just a bunch of grubby piss and beer soaked hands just tugging at bread, you know. But the gentleman in front of me, he's getting the pretzel. It's like, all right, good for you, you know. I bet you that's going to be pretty good. And he pulls it out of there, and he just yanks his hand back. Gah! Apparently he burnt the shit out of himself on some oil at the bottom of the pretzel container, where the fuck that is, the heat box. You guys have been outside in the world. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't need the vocabulary to make this happen.
Do they not have any tongs or something?
No, there are no tongs. And if there are tongs, they weren't used, I can tell you that. And he's just touching on that and other pretzels. He's sticking his arm in there, and his arm is rubbing up against the pretzels. They're kind of rocking on the rack in there. And it's like, oh, god damn. And he burns the shit out of himself. And I don't know if
he deserves it at that point.
I don't know if he noticed that the little plastic cups, the ramekins of cheese at the bottom of the case were there before or after he burned himself. But he kind of looks down and picks them up. And these folks, you'll see the photo on Instagram. These cheese cups are fucking gnarly. I don't really know how else to describe it. They are congealed. They've all definitely been like pressed on, and there's like cheese spilling out the side, and it's all burnt on there. The one that he chose as his special little treat, the cheese had spilled out of the side and then cooked itself, so it was just like held in place as if it was in resin or something. You know, it was disgusting.
It's probably got burnt arm hair in it too.
You know, definitely now at least, if not before. And the cap's like half hanging off, and he looks at it and he's like, okay. And he takes it with him, and I'm guessing he probably paid $2 for that fucking thing. So that's my DARF for the week. And right after that, as I'm finishing my beer, I love this. So the lady was like, "Just a sandwich?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am." And it was $16, and I didn't feel bad about it.
No, yeah, you shouldn't at that point.
Anyway, after that, it was time for the modifieds, which I say it twice an episode, every episode. The modified race at Loudon is the best race of the weekend there, and one of the best modified races you're ever going to see year in and year out. They run restrictor plates, not in the traditional or the current NASCAR style as you're used to. It's a little more akin to something you would have seen at Daytona back in the day. You'll see packs of 4 or 5 cars kind of break away from the field. There's some working together. There's some 2Y, but it's not pack racing in the sense that we're all used to now. But it's fucking awesome. And most of the people stuck around. And by the way, huge crowd on Saturday. Huge crowd, especially in turn 1 and the grandstands on the front stretch towards turn 1. It looked like a Sunday out there. Not so much towards turn 3 in the main grandstands. Those are pretty sparse. I don't know why that is. I guess you really can't see all that much from over there, but huge crowd. Glad to see all the New England and Canadian race fans showing out for this, and because apparently the Canadians and us modified fans know ball, because this was a hell of a race. Justin Bodzinor and Austin Beers were the show for the first half. They were trading the lead. There's some other folks in there. One of the Catalano brothers, Patrick Immerling, was in there for a couple minutes until Patrick ended up in the fence and almost flipped over. The second shitty thing that happened to him that day, I forgot to mention this during the truck recap, but I got to witness him just speeding down pit road with his hood covering his windshield. So truck race didn't go well for him. And the modified race was worse because I thought he was going up into the fence for a second. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but he kind of went head on the fence. The modified flipped up cockpit towards the fence, and he kind of rode on his side. Was that Todd Gilliland that did that at Kansas or somewhere in a cup race? It was like that, but in a modified.
His team did it one time.
Yes. You never want to see that. And Patrick Immerling reminded us why. He was okay, but that car was torn up and just not the day he needed for his championship hopes. There's no question about that. After a round of pit stops, John McKennedy ended up in the lead, as did Chase Dowling. He was up front after all that in the Tenio 44. Love seeing that car out there, and Chase has been piloting it part-time for a little while now, and he's always someone to watch at Loudon or anywhere he goes, really. That kid's pretty good. And him and McKennedy traded the lead for a little while. Dowling had a tire go down, so unfortunately he was not in the mix at the end. But as all this is unfolding, it just starts to mist, and I can feel my arms getting wet, and it's not that hot. The weather was absolutely perfect for a race. It was overcast, not hot, probably 70 degrees all day. If you wanted to have a hoodie on, you probably could. If you didn't, great. You know, it was great for folks who like shirts and no shirts alike. It was awesome. But I'm starting to feel it up there, and the sky's getting pretty fucking dark. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. I waited around all day for this, and it's gonna fucking rain. And they just crossed halfway, and I was like, this is gonna end early. This is bullshit. You know, obviously nothing we can do about it. But, you know, at that point, Chase Dowling was still leading. I was like, would be pretty cool to see him get a win. And they just kept racing in it. It wasn't that bad. I was getting progressively wetter and wetter, and I did not pull my rain jacket out. And I was like, well, if they're racing in it, it's gonna stop in a second now, right? And as my t-shirt's turning into a wet terry cloth pretty much. And eventually the yellow did come out, and they bring him down pit road. Grandstands kind of clear out, but only a little bit. People were at this point pretty tuned up, I would say. And there was a lot of stomping and hollering. Ryan Newman was in the field, and there was a group of folks in front of me trying to get his attention. They did not get Ryan Newman to wave at them, but Austin Beers did wave back, so that was not what they were looking for, but I enjoyed that. But yeah, on the PA, and they were talking about how hard the New England race fans are. He's like, look at all these people sitting out here right now. This is crazy. You guys are tough. And I was like, it's mist. It's just a mist. It's okay. Fortunately, the delay wasn't that long. I think it was like 35 minutes, something like that. And they were able to get the remaining 30 or so laps in. Same guys up front, only John McKennedy arrived. Also, Ryan Preece was in the mix now, as was Tommy Catalano. These guys have been kind of hanging out there with Bonsignor and beers all day, but now they were part of the show. Unfortunately, Austin Beers ended up spinning with 6 to go, setting up a 4-car battle for the win in a 2-lap shootout between John McKennedy, Tommy Catalano, Ryan Preece, and Justin Bonsignor. Bonsignor ended up spinning with 1 to go. They did not drop the yellow, so good for them. And John McKennedy was able to get up there and get the win. The move he pulled to take the lead was fucking unbelievable. He cleared himself in front of Preece, and Preece pushed the shit out of him. And I thought there was going to be a giant wreck then and there. But McKennedy hung on to it, and he was able to drive away and pick up his first career win at Loudon in the NASCAR mods anyway. Of course, this is their Daytona 500. So, biggest win of his career. It's so big that it's actually making some local news around here, which was kind of crazy. The Chelmsford newspaper picked that one up. That's how big it was. But shout out to him. But yeah, fucking awesome race. It's always a great race, and I'm glad I was there for it. And then as soon as it was over, I got the fuck out of there and went home.
After you sat in traffic.
And that's what I was about to get to. Again, it felt like a Sunday crowd on Saturday. And it's been getting progressively busier and busier throughout the years, or the past 5 or 6 years. But this was something else. And it took me an hour to get out of the facility on Saturday. And I always had a theory that most people that were watching the modified race, especially when it was in the afternoon, the majority of them just have to get back to the X lot or the campgrounds. You know, they're not driving home, but apparently not, because I sat in an hour's worth of traffic getting out of there, which I personally hated that. But I was really, really stoked that both these races had such excellent crowds and that many people were on the grounds to see historically what is the better day of the weekend, although the Cup race did end up being pretty good, though I wasn't on site for it. But we're about to talk about that. But again, thank you one more time to all the Kyles for making my Sunday very special, or Saturday very special, that is. Particularly Kyle Ayala. I can't wait to see you in Charlotte in November. So, on to Sunday.
Well,
I was not there.
Brian, did you watch this race?
The modified race? No, I didn't watch it.
No, the Cup race.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I watched. So I was driving home from Albany on Sunday. But thankfully, it's a pretty easy drive, so I did have it on my phone in the car on the dashboard while I was driving, like a real safe driver. Yeah. So I did.
In between naps, you'd watch the race.
Fun race, good race. I mean, obviously we're going to get into it now, but I did watch it. I made it home for the last 60, 70 laps, so I got to see the finish.
Well, that's good. The only pre-race points I had, we had Reddick won the pole, Josh Berry started second, and SVG started fifth. Also, before the race weekend started, John Hunter Nemechek decided to change his number to number 40 for this weekend for Dollar Tree's 40th anniversary, which I just think is real silly, but whatever.
Yeah,
I made a cool t-shirt.
I will say during qualifying on the track PA, when Reddick was out there, whoever was on the call was just, it's like, oh man, this is not a good lap for Tyler Reddick. He's like, he does not look good out there. Car looks really unsure. And then he crosses the line. He's top of the board by a decent margin. So,
yeah.
So I was surprised.
Yeah. He was dog shit in practice.
Yeah.
So I was also surprised. But yeah, this race, a couple days before, they announced that they were going to move it up an hour to try to beat the weather. And didn't really work out for him.
No.
Also, before
I heard
the
it was
race,
because they wanted to
even-
fuck. I heard it was because they
Go
wanted to
ahead.
fuck with the IndyCar ratings.
That didn't work. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but
Yeah.
a few more people watched that IndyCar race than this one.
Well, on lap 0, Hocevar decided to gas it up and try to drift to get on TV, and it didn't work for him, and he just spun out in the pace lap. So
Yeah.
they parked the cars again for like an hour.
Yeah, we got our 3 o'clock start time as God intended.
Yep.
I wonder if maybe he just didn't want to race in the rain.
I don't know.
Either way, the first of today's grievances that Truelove will air in regards to Carson Hocevar, which I will have no rebuttal for this week.
It's just Hocevar's Twitch stream, and we're all living in it.
Yep. But yeah, once they got it going, Tyler Reddick also decided he couldn't leave Carson alone in this, and he lost it on the seam and spun out. So I'm sure that was cool for him to experience.
Yeah, it was real cool.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I put him in my lineup.
Hey, he made a recovery and thankfully didn't get taken out by his car owner and whoever else was involved. But yeah, thankfully that ended up good for everybody involved.
Yeah, SVG going out there and reminding everybody that he's raced in the rain before early on. That was cool to see.
Yeah, he got the lead early, and as soon as he got the lead, he just gapped the fuck out of the field. Within 2 laps, he had a 4-second lead over Byron in second. And then lap 40, NASCAR decided to throw a competition caution. And by then, SVG had a 7-second lead over the field, so...
Yeah. And on this competition caution, I'm going to bitch for a second, and I think you guys probably all agree with me. But why can't we just let these teams make the decision when to bolt on the slick tires?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Like, they're professional race teams. Like, even the truck team I sat with had a nicer setup than almost any team in the United States. And not that Nice is a broke-ass team by any means, but, you know, they're not Hendrick Motorsports or Joe Gibbs. I don't even know what their shit looks like. They probably got fucking robots over there serving people drinks on top of their pit box. Like, these people are smart. They have all the technology. They can make these decisions. So why does NASCAR need to nanny state these motherfuckers and tell them when to come in? It makes no fucking sense to me. Anyway, that's my rant.
Well,
Steve
I don't know.
O'Donnell, if you're listening.
I feel like, didn't they, when they tried it at Wilkesboro, I feel like they let him come in and change, because I feel like when we watched it, there were guys on both wets and dries, but maybe the bigger tracks, they're
I think
more
you're right.
restrictive.
I know at COTA, they let drivers make the decision, and Austin Cindric was gapping the field on dry tires. I think it was the first time they ever used them in competition. This was a few years ago. But that was a road course, and I guess they probably changed it since then. But yeah, let these guys, let them compete, man. Let them make the decisions.
Yeah, let them figure it out. Yeah, so they switched to dry tires and then restarted, and Stenhouse wrecked immediately. So
Yes, he did.
Yep. Also, Ross Chastain apparently got in the wall or something and kind of ruined his day and ruined any shot of him making the playoffs, which kind of to be expected. I mean, he was never anywhere near the top 16 this season, so not a real shock to see it go out that way.
Yeah.
sorry for your loss, Brien.
It's fine. It's Denny's year, so I'm not worried about it. Then I guess this is probably one of the biggest stories of the race was again Carson Hocevar clearing himself off of Connor Zillich's nose and wrecking himself.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, not
Hanging a hard
thankfully-
lift.
didn't do any damage to his car. Continued on, and then like kind of continued to fuck with Zillisch throughout the race, even though it was very clearly his fault. And even after the race, he admitted, like, yeah, I wrecked myself there. You know, like, so I don't know what his fucking deal is. Like,
I mean, I'll give Carson the slightest bit of credit here. Zillisch did leave him no room. He did door him. Now, is doing what he did by spinning yourself off that guy's nose, is what lesson does that teach him? It doesn't. and also, to be fair, Zillisch was on his own fucking hell run, as we saw later on in the race when we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, Zillisch was kind of all over the place on Sunday as well. But yeah, there's better ways to handle that.
I feel like their contact wasn't anything egregious. It was just
it's a racing deal.
Yeah,
it's a racing deal.
You know,
yeah,
you see that all through the field. So
yeah.
I don't know.
So that was cool for me and my Chili's hat at home. It's like that. just put my phone down for a few minutes and let whatever roll into it happen, and check back in later as if nothing ever happened.
It brought me some joy in the moment.
Yeah.
See him embarrass himself in front of his TikTok girlfriend, and to have the internet kind of start to turn against him a little bit was also refreshing.
Well, there's a few things that go into that. Like, one, like, it's not necessarily, I don't know what their fucking deal is as far as their relationship, because like they show like no PDA whatsoever.
Yeah,
and
he
then
climbed
a lot
out
of
the
their
car and they just did like a side hug. I don't know.
Yeah, it almost seems like a PR campaign they put together for themselves. I really don't know, and like I don't care. Like whatever. I don't know who this girl is. She's very pretty, but I don't know anything about her. She's TikTok famous. So
I did like that makeup
video
video she did explaining the sport, though. I thought that was pretty cool. You guys
I
see
didn't
that?
watch it, but it got good reviews. Yeah, Truelove, you're the person who wears makeup here, so you'd be the best judge.
I don't have TikTok, so I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was. I felt embarrassed for myself when I watched it, or when I opened it. I was like, well, this is a new low, and it was pretty good. She did a pretty awesome job of describing NASCAR in makeup terms. I gotta hand it to her. So shout out to whatever her name is. I'm not that. I like Carson Hocevar, but I'm not the kind of fan that knows what his girlfriend's name is.
Well, I think now too the other thing is people seem to believe he's performed worse since they've started hanging out, and as we all have come to realize, Hocevar fans are a very smart and sane group of children. So. Why not? That's surely the reason why he's not doing as well lately.
Yeah, it ain't all been Carson's fault, but some of it has been. So yes.
For sure.
Some of it has been.
All right, continuing with the race notes.
Lots of pit road issues.
Yeah, I don't even know where to begin with this. Yeah, Byron, he lost a wheel, so there goes a couple of his crew members. Blaney had a bad pit stop where they had to retighten a wheel. Hamlin came into his pits and his crew wasn't ready for him, and there were some code words involved that were
enchiladas
confusing. Whatever.
Yeah, I loved that. And a very, very angry Steve Letarte having his own
mad.
Uncle Rob rant on the broadcast. I hate these stupid code words.
He went full boomer on these code words.
Yeah, I get it, but it's stupid. I agree with Steve. But we're about the same age, so.
Also, one of Byron's crew members left the tool in the back of the car.
The wedge adjustment wrench, the wedge wrench, yeah.
And Bell drug one of his crew members out of his pit box too. So.
Okay, that's what I forgot. Yeah. So, Dan pit road. Also, apparently, Natalie Decker jumped into Connor Zillisch's car for a minute when.
It's cool to see Natalie out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who. I forget who wrecked, but somebody spun out and. Herbst. Okay, so Herbst spun out and hit the wall a little bit, and
A little bit.
well, the impact from Connor was way worse, but he hits the wall, and Connor is racing with Austin Dillon, and plenty of time. Spotter, there's replays, obviously. There's spotters telling Connor, go low, go low, go low, and the whole time he's just sliding up the track and still going, and spotters just tell him to go low, and then just slams into fucking Herbst, and then just starts berating himself on the radio, calling himself an idiot, and what am I doing, and which is fair.
Self-awareness finally arrived in that situation.
Yeah.
That was a hellacious wreck from Herbst. He was. It's as close as you can go to going over at Loudon, I would say. Back tires are off the ground. He very easily could have flipped if he would have landed in the right position, but yeah, that was nasty. And then Connor just coming in there and adding insult to injury. That was it was equal parts scary and hilarious. Yeah, poor Connor. He was busy picking out what his fire suit's gonna look like at Hendrick on his digital dash. Got distracted.
And yeah, as far as the race itself goes, I don't really know whose day. It didn't really necessarily seem like anybody's day until the very end. Obviously Blaney and the Penske cars were fast. Ryan Preece was fast. Josh Berry was fast. They all led laps. Bubba Wallace was kind of sneakily up there, and then challenging for the win at the very end. But Ryan Blaney ended up getting his third victory of the season and second in a row at New Hampshire.
Man, that battle between Bubba Wallace, Josh Berry, and Ryan Preece towards the end there was fucking electric.
Yeah, it was great.
And Ryan Preece running that Stafford line, kind of parking it right in the middle of the racetrack and finding speed there. No one else was doing that. It is a straight-up modified line, and to the point where I think his spotter and crew chief are even talking about it on the radio on Channel 2 about how he was able to find speed. So that was awesome.
Yeah. Bubba kind of killed his chances with 4 to go, locking it up in one of the turns. But I don't know. He was a little bit faster, but I think he would have had to get into Blaney to pass him if he had gotten there anyways. But just didn't happen. But, still a good finish. And, Josh Berry finishes third, which his fourth straight top 10, I think.
He finally doing it. Took him a little too late.
Yeah, which is a bummer. And obviously, everybody's still talking about what he's doing next year, which nobody knows. Unfortunately, it's not going to be in the RCR car, but we'll get to that in the notes. But yeah, Ryan Blaney wins. Really, I would argue one of the best New Hampshire races I've ever seen. A really, really good race. Wish I was there, but just wasn't in the cards.
Yeah, I wish you were there too, because I would have gone up. But I wasn't about to sit at Loudon for 12 hours by myself again. But yeah, great race. I'm glad to see my home racetrack putting on good shows. As little stock as I put into the Jeff Gluck polls as I do, this one I think is the number one ranked New Hampshire race. Something like 91% or something like that. Said this was a good race.
When I voted, it was at 84, so that makes sense.
Maybe my number's a little high, but still, the best ranked Loudon race of all time.
In your heart.
In my heart.
It's 83.1 was the final tally.
Almost 90, yeah.
Yeah.
We're grading on a curve, folks, but yeah, it was awesome. Wish you guys were up here to see that. Guess I would have gone. Yeah, a little bit of everything. I wish that Carson hadn't spun, so they would have started in the downpour, because they've never done that before. It seemed like NASCAR was pretty gung-ho about starting in full rain, which I would have loved to have seen. But yeah, watching them guys fan out from top to bottom on those wet tires is something else. And fortunately, I've seen that in person before, and it is quite the sight at home or when you're at the facility. So yeah, good ship.
Also, Noah Gregson got himself a top 10.
Yeah.
Another note I forgot to put in was Eric Jones, poor guy. His transmission blew with like 49 to go, so kind of puts a nail in the coffin of his season too. But fun fact that came out today, Eric Jones went to see Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie, and Orgy last night.
Wow.
So, hell yeah.
I didn't know Orgy was on the show. That's sick.
Hell of a lineup. But yeah, Hamlin clinched the top spot this race. So now there's 13 drivers locked into the points heading into Daytona. So got a cut line battle coming up with Bubba, Cindric, and SVG right above it, and Priest and Brad fighting to get in. So
Yeah, it really looks like the number one battle here is between Priest and SVG. Mm-hmm. And going into Daytona, I mean, Priest is super good at drafting tracks. I forget how Shane is.
He's on all four wheels.
Yeah, when he's on planet Earth, he's pretty good. Then he leaves the fucking ballpark, and it's not so good. But yeah, it's going to be a good show on Saturday night. I'm excited for this, and you know whose hat I'll be wearing, and it will not be the Chili's one this week because Carson's already in there. A man of many hats, folks.
Are you ready for Fantasy League?
I guess. I haven't looked at the points.
I would like to skip over this, but...
Well, it's your segment.
Brutal fucking week for me. Yeah, so New Hampshire this week, our big winner was Twin Peaks Motorsports.
There you go.
Second place was Keep Digging, which is our buddy Jay. And third place was Bailey Weinkauf. Rob, 12th. Brien, 18th. And I was 22nd. I barely beat someone who didn't pick their bonus picks.
129 points.
Yeah, just fucking brutal day. So, I'm over it. Our overall points, though, have stayed exactly the same. Chris Davis still leading, Bailey Weinkauf second, Flavortown McLeod third, Brien fourth, Rob sixth, and I'm 11th. So zero changes there.
I'm ready for the restart. So
yeah, the reset happens after Daytona, folks. So be sure to set your coolest lineup next week. Get David Reagan and fucking Regan Smith and Eric Almirola all set up for you there, and you'll be fine.
That's it.
Yeah, now on to notes. ARCA at Springfield Mile. This was a dirt race. I didn't see a second of it, although I did see the clip of Max Reeves and Gavin Bichelle actually not really getting into it at the very end. Like, not to defend Max Reeves here, but I think just a lot of camera angles made it look like he just straight dumped Gavin Bichelle, which he didn't. I mean, they were beating and banging, but...
What are you talking about?
He didn't. Like, he never touched him.
He door slammed him all the way down the fucking front stretch.
That's what I'm saying. In the turn, though, he didn't touch him. If you look at it closely. That was pretty... He didn't touch him.
I will say this, Max Reeves' reputation precedes him.
Yeah.
So, if it was anybody else, I think maybe you could make a stronger argument for that. I'm not saying you're wrong, but you got to understand why people have the opinion they do, and Max has done no favors for himself. He's been a prick on camera all year and has wrecked plenty of people for the lead. So, to me, it looked like more of the same, and Gavin Bichelle certainly thought that as... when that happened, I texted some folks, and I was like, man, someone needs to whip this kid's ass. It's going to have to be a teenager. And then apparently Gavin Bichelle went over there to do the job. But how old is Gavin? 19?
Well, he's 18, so they wouldn't let him.
Fuck.
Max is only 16, so.
Well, he'll get his someday. But yeah, shout out to Taylor Reimer. She got a 4th place out of the deal. Nice to see her. Of course, she's super decent on dirt. Probably one of the most qualified drivers in ARCA on a dirt track, and she definitely showed her prowess there. So excited to see that for Taylor.
Yeah. My only note from this race was before the race started, there was an ARCA gender reveal.
Whoa! Excuse me?
Driver Sean Core had his gender reveal before the race. They had covered up the door on his car, and he pulled the cover off to reveal either a pink or a blue car number on the side of it.
Yeah.
And it was blue, so...
Nice. At least it didn't say not the father on there.
Yeah, originally his wife was actually supposed to be the driver in this race, but she went and got pregnant, so she couldn't. She couldn't drive, so.
She went and got pregnant. One of the first ARCA races I watched this year, and I enjoyed it. They'll be going to Du Quoin pretty soon here. That's another dirt race, so it'll be good.
So, yeah. I mean, I kind of agree with both of y'all. Max is a turd, but really watching that replay, it honestly didn't look like he touched him, which pains me to say. But Max did himself zero favors in all of his post-race interviews and social media and all that stuff. So.
It's kind of like the Carson Hocevar deal, you know? Like, even if it's not your fault, you've given people enough ammunition to not give you the benefit of the doubt in these situations.
Yeah, I mean, he thanked the crowd for booing him and said it was the most sound decibels he's ever gotten or something, so...
Yeah, he'll keep working on that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Should we move on to IROC?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, IROC and IndyCar were in D.C. for the Freedom 250. Did you watch this, Truelove?
I went back and watched the highlights.
Yeah, I didn't see the ARCA race. I watched that. The ARCA race in D.C., which would have been appropriate. I did not watch the IROC race, but it looked pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the way that they did this event was I thought it was a little strange. They had 8 drivers. They split it up into 2 20-minute races, and then they picked the winner from the combined results of those 2 races, and then there was an inversion after the first race. But Jeff Gordon ended up winning both races, so he was the overall winner. My friend Jeremy actually went to this event.
Really?
He only went on Saturday. He didn't go for Sunday, but he had all positive things to say, except for the lack of seating.
Yeah, you kind of had to get on the grandstand tickets pretty early to have an opportunity at that. And as predicted, the mall was not a great place to watch a race. You think the infield at Loudon is bad. Well, wait till you see the mall in D.C. It's just fucking flat. Yeah. On to Sunday, I gotta say, I think we all had some inkling that maybe track setup would go similar to what happened in Markham. But they got it together. Ended up being a pretty, not the most breathtaking course layout by any means as far as the track itself is concerned. A lot of 90-degree turns and shit, and I think a lot of people were concerned about the raised crosswalks leading into Turn 7, which did fuck some people up in practice, no question about it. But visually, it was absolutely beautiful. Shout out to them for not putting up fucking sponsor banners so tall that you couldn't see anything, and it really did provide a pretty beautiful view of all the monuments and buildings in D.C. I thought that was cool. And the track itself was relatively racy. You got to see Donald Trump waving a flag from inside of a box. Could have done without that.
Every angle of that was every angle got more and more hilarious that I saw of that.
Yeah, I don't care if you're a Trump fan or not. You got to admit that shit was awkward. Yeah, race itself, it was all Cal Kirkwood. He pretty much dick stomped him. Alex Palou got a penalty for being Spanish, I think. And Stingray Rob, I forget who wrecked, but he managed to find a wreck a full 30 seconds after it happened, as usual, so that was cool. But yeah, Kyle Kirkwood winning and picking up the big trophy. And yeah, from what I gather, it was great success. Over 3 million viewers on Fox. So that's the highest rated IndyCar race outside of the Indy 500 since the reunification of CART and the IRL back in 2008. So that's kind of insane.
Did we mention Trump waving the green flag?
We did.
And okay, how about all the cool memes that came out of that?
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
My favorite is the Nazi flag.
Yeah, that's going to give us gifts for years, Bob.
Yeah.
But it sounds like this might happen again. And to hear the mayor of D.C., who, if you guys, if you pay attention to politics or whatever, they fucking hate each other, Trump and Bowser. But she had nothing but positive things to say and said they hope they come back for years to come. And I would be happy to see that.
For as much as, obviously I'm not a fan of the Trump administration, the race itself did seem like kind of a bipartisan thing and definitely not nearly as Trumpy as the UFC fight. So,
yeah, I'm very pleased to see that it was the celebration it was intended to be. Yeah. And not kind of what I think a lot of us kind of expected it to be. Because, Trump loves to toot his own horn. So, and this is a perfect opportunity for that to happen. And there was a little tooting. Don't get me wrong.
Tooting. There were, commemorative coins being sold and that weird AI Mario Kart posts that they made a couple days before.
With Betsy DeVos. Yeah, no Luigi, but I think we already talked about that. But yeah, it was cool, and I hope they do it again. I think that's about as good as a street race can go right there, especially in year one. And after this year, it probably won't be quite the polarizing event. It'll just be an IndyCar race. So,
I guess Trump said that he wants it to return for 5 more years, even though he won't be around by then, hopefully. But
yeah, and it sounds like this was actually in the works back in 2024 as well. Like some information has kind of rolled out about how IndyCar had spent a bunch of money procuring the supplies for the walls. Perhaps they were taking a bet. Who knows? But it sounds like this could have happened even if we had President Kamala Harris or somebody else, which is cool because IndyCar, whether people recognize it or not, is a big part of Americana and American history. There's an IndyCar on the fucking quarter if you get an Indiana one. So glad to see it get its representation, and I'm glad that we all got to see a good race and that everything turned out okay. So, for a little while there, it was kind of touch and go.
My friend Jimmy was there on Sunday, and I think he also had a good overall experience, but by the end of it, he was very frustrated because, again, there was, limited seating, which that was whatever, but, there were free grandstands available, but you had to get there at like 9 a.m. when gates opened to get a seat because it was first come, first serve. And then once you claimed your spot, you couldn't leave. And so you're just kind of stuck there all day. And the only water available in the grandstands was like $20 or something. So that sucked. But I think Jimmy's only frustrations were that after the race, to get out of the event, you could only get out through this one pedestrian bridge, and that line was horrendous. And at 3 p.m. sharp, all the vendors quit selling food and water. So it was crazy hot out there, and you couldn't buy water anywhere. So
that sucks.
He was pretty over it by the end of the day, but I think he enjoyed it before then.
Yeah,
there was also that great clip that came out of Danica Patrick in the booth saying "land of the home and the free." So
that's exactly, and that's what the phrase is. That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Yeah, good shit. Hopefully it comes back. I enjoyed it. So
yeah. Now on to some. Let's see here. Track and date news. Let's see, NASCAR trucks, they're going to be going to both Canada and Bowman Gray in 2027. I forget which track in Canada is it? The one they've already been to?
Mosport, yeah, Canadian Tire.
Okay, yeah. Canadian Tire, yeah. That race is going to be on a Sunday, September 5th, which...
For those of you who don't remember that place, that is the Hallowed grounds where Cole Custer speared John Hunter Nemechek after getting dumped at the finish. All-time finish there. It was great.
Yeah, one of my favorites of all time for sure.
Yeah, Mosport's a racy little joint, so excited to see that one back on the calendar. Yeah, and then Bowman Gray. I heard that news on the box, folks. We all learned together. Very curious to see what the format for this one is, because obviously they can't run 37 trucks on there at once. So is it going to be?
Or can they?
We'll find out.
Well, plus they can't do pit stops either, so
Yeah.
you have to assume it's probably something similar to what they did with the All-Star race or whatever. So
Yeah, which I'm fine with that.
yeah.
I'm just glad that Bowman Gray, after all that investment, is not going to get booted out of the upper, more national end of the NASCAR scheme. I think it's a cool thing that it's there, and I'm glad they're doing it. So
it was announced today that the San Diego Street Course at the Naval Base is coming back and likely rotating to different bases starting in 2028. I guess this is good. I mean, the race itself was fine. You'll never get me on any of those Air Force bases to watch a race, so that's whatever. But
I don't even know if there's one near me that would be. We have Hanscom. They're not doing it there.
yeah, it's.
I guess it's only going to be Cup and O'Reilly this time. No trucks next year. So.
Damn.
Bummer. Well, they get Bowman Gray, so that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
It'd be about the same.
And then there was apparently people thought that NASCAR had sold the rest of the California Speedway property, but apparently it was just what the hell was
Something
it?
about an easement.
Yeah, something about them canceling an easement. So somebody just doesn't know how to read legal paperwork properly and started a bunch of rumors.
Well, they got us all fired up. We were pissed off for 6 hours.
I think it's going to happen eventually. I don't think NASCAR's going to do anything with that property. They can't really turn a track into what they have now. So,
I can't say I was surprised to see that news drop, and I accepted it without doing any research, because that's what we all expect to happen.
Yep, there are lots of memorials and tributes online, and then Bob Pockris set us straight. So,
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob.
yeah.
Austin Hill got announced to run the 33 car full time next year. Why, I don't know. There's got to be somebody else. Again, we already talked about Josh Berry, but bring somebody else up, I don't fucking know. I mean, Austin Hill's been with RCR forever, so I guess it makes sense to just keep him in the car, but he certainly hasn't proved himself to be worthy of the ride. I mean, nobody expected him to pull Kevin Harvick and go in there and win, especially with RCR, the position they're in now, but, Yeah,
well, he is running all the Xfinity races, too, or O'Reilly races, so maybe that's too much for him. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Berry ended up in the O'Reilly series with RCR. I think that'd be a good deal for him to kind of get his groove back, and go for a championship. I think that he'd definitely be in position to do that, and someone's got to take over the 21 next year. Because they're not going to let him do that next year. It's special circumstances for him to be able to do this, so.
Yeah. Whatever. Congrats, Austin Hill. Nobody cares. 2311 got a new shop dog. I somehow, as the one of the dog guys on the show here, I skimmed past this. I didn't even see what the dog looked like. So somebody tell me more about this dog.
So yeah, they got a shop dog. One of their employees found a stray dog on the side of the road the day after Kyle Busch passed away. So they've named the dog Rowdy, and now the dog officially is the shop dog. And if you go to visit that race shop, which is really nice, and I recommend, you can pet Rowdy and hang out with him. So
Nice.
love that.
Hell yeah.
It is a nice building.
Let's see here. What is this note about Alex Bowman on Harvick's show? Because I didn't see that.
I just wanted to mention, he went on there. I just saw a couple clips on social media, but Harvick was just kind of asking him what his plan was for 2028, and we kind of already knew about the drifting, but he said that for sure he wants to do some Pro-Am drifting in 2028, and he also said that he wants to get back in winged sprint cars, even though Chloe is fighting him on that. So
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting.
Well, he's said that since he made the announcement, and the sprint car thing is weird. 'Cause that's how he got hurt. So like,
Yeah.
why would you want to do that? Go race a fucking super late model. Let's see what you can do in those. They're a bit safer.
Yeah.
A little bit safer.
A little bit safer, yeah. I would I'd love to see ABR make a full comeback and get Alex back out there. It was always cool to see him ripping a 410. Also, speaking of Kevin Harvick and Will Buxton's show, we missed this last week talking about the Knoxville Nationals. There was they were talking about Larson going out and doing this impromptu double and all that, and they were alluding to the fact that Knoxville needs Kyle Larson to show up, or somebody like Kyle Larson to show up to elevate the event.
What?
I don't agree with that.
And obviously that's bullshit. But they were, and again, you guys know I'm a Kyle Larson fan, and I shared a similar sentiment, but the opposite. My take is that Larson being there shows you how important the Nationals are, and he wants to be a part of it. But their opinion was kind of the opposite of that, is that like that makes the Knoxville Nationals bigger because Kyle Larson is there in spirit, and that's just one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Some NASCAR non-dirt racing bubble shit, and that made me mad. So I just wanted to tamp that down and set everybody straight right here at the Applebee's table, despite it not being on the notes.
I mean, especially Knoxville. I mean, Larson running certain smaller races, yeah, that elevates the program. But, Knoxville is the Indy 500, the Daytona 500 of sprint cars. So, like, no, he doesn't elevate the event. The event already is as elevated as it needs to be.
Exactly. I agree.
Even when you go back to looking at, like, Bobby Allison running Super Dirt Week, like, he didn't elevate the event.
It's
it was
Super
cool
Dirt
he
Week.
was there.
Yeah, he wants to be at Super Dirt Week. Yeah.
Yeah,
just a real dumb take on their show. They're usually pretty even keel, but that pissed me off. So
yeah.
Just had to shout that out.
Speaking of dirt and people running dirt, Cletus has announced he's going to run the Gateway Dirt Nationals, and it's very funny. I don't know who posted the poll. Was like, can Cletus win the Gateway Dirt Nationals? And I think even Cletus fans were like, no, he cannot.
No, he can't.
And we all know he cannot.
Not a modified, folks. A super late model. So
yeah.
Can he send it over the catch fence? Absolutely. I will.
Yes.
I'll take the over on that one.
I think they framed it as, can a YouTuber win?
That was it, yeah.
No, because I mean, if you does Bobby Pierce have a YouTube? Then maybe, I don't fucking know. All right, I'm bouncing
When is
over
that
notes.
again?
That's December, the first week of December, weekend of December, yeah.
Yeah, very excited. I absolutely loved that race last year. So.
Oh, it's the best. It's that and the Snowball Derby. It's such a little postseason blessing here. I love it.
Yeah. Couple little things here. Lee Pulliam announced he's going full-time in O'Reilly's next year for a team I've never heard of.
Nope.
So what was the team again?
Peterson Racing, number 87.
What?
Peterson.
No fucking clue who they are.
I think maybe Nick Sanchez runs for them somehow.
Oh, okay. Well, he's been at least running okay. He hasn't gotten the finishes, but maybe that's a good sign. But also Nick's not a horrible driver, so that helps.
Yeah, they also run Trans Am.
Okay. Let's see here. More dumb bullshit from the Nashville Fairgrounds opposing party.
Yeah.
This is just a lot more videos. Somebody sum this up for me, because I saw a lot of stuff and it just hated all of it. So.
Well, I guess the opposition to the fairgrounds held a meeting recently. And the guy leading the meeting went on this, he had his little speech. And the thing that he said in the speech that really pissed off a lot of people was he said there's no such thing as historic cinder blocks. It's like, That's literally what every historic building is. So.
Yeah, what about the Ryman? You gonna tear that down and put up a fucking Kava? Like, yeah, probably, actually.
And they just continue to push this, like, false narrative that SMI plans to destroy the entire track, and now they're saying that SMI wants to rebuild the track twice as big as it is right now.
No.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first question is where?
yeah.
Where the fuck are they gonna do that?
Yeah, and one of the guys was saying that the entire track property is unsafe for the public and should be condemned. And then they showed this image of what they want to change it to. And really, it's just a little bit of a park. And off in the corner is what they're calling their affordable housing, which is like a, I don't know, 2 or 3 story glass building that would maybe hold, I don't know, 5 families in it at most. So
Yeah, really saving the poor and downtrodden of Nashville with this one.
yeah, all that image did was show a much better view for the people that are in those apartments that are already there. And they keep saying, we need a park, we need a park, we need a park. If anyone's been to the fairgrounds, you'd know that there's literally a park directly next to the racetrack that's just out of frame of this picture that they keep showing. So
Yeah.
just some real dumb shit. And if y'all want to go harass the guy that's pushing all this, his social media is Restore Our Fairgrounds. So that's the corny dude.
Yeah, this guy's a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
Just some California hipster-looking douchebag with the round glasses and the turquoise. And again, I like turquoise, but you're a disgrace to turquoise wears, motherfucker. Yeah, just the kind of dork you'd expect to be saying shit like this and be the face of it. Looks like he should be doing some sort of HR video at a corporate job. And,
Yeah. And finally, some news. I mean, we've talked about NASCAR diecast plenty of times in this show.
Boy, have we.
Apparently, NASCAR is now cracking down on anybody who is making custom diecast cars and reselling them. Because I saw, not that I follow many of them, but they just came up in my feed, like a bunch of different resellers just like we're closing down our accounts, and I don't know what sort of, probably just send cease and desist to people, but kind of weird just because, like, it's not like when people do the customs, it's not like they're making, a batch of 500 of a special car. These are all like hand painted and hand decaled and hand, modified one-offs that they're selling for a premium price. And generally they're cars that, their diecast aren't made of, like schemes that, for whatever reason, the sponsor or whoever doesn't want to put out a diecast or not enough demand for it. So I guess it's just going to be totally underground now if you're looking for that type of thing, or you'll just have to do it yourself. But kind of a weird move. I don't know if it's more of a NASCAR or a Lionel thing, but
it just sounds like a legal department that is very bored and needs something to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like that's $1 million market. There's only a handful of people doing it, and even Dale Jr.'s talked about buying customs off eBay and stuff. So just kind of strange. I mean, especially when it's something that, like, it's not bootlegging T-shirts. It's something that's somewhat creative and actually takes effort and time to do. So just kind of a bummer. I just really hope they don't start doing shit for people who do YouTube channels and pulling down videos, because that'll really piss me off.
I mean, I think we've kind of been waiting on that one for a while. They've been pretty kind about that. But yeah, we'll wait to see how this affects the stop motion community. Our thoughts and prayers are with you guys. Well, I mean, Brian's thoughts and prayers. Mine are trying to save my fairgrounds or whatever the fuck it is over here.
All right, well, with that, it's time to dive into the septic tank, and I'm in here this week.
Yeah, you went to honest to God short track and one of the greatest out there this weekend.
Yeah, went home. Going into the weekend, I wasn't sure if I was going to go to Albany, Saratoga, or Lebanon Valley. Before I left Ohio, it seemed like it was probably going to be Friday, because the weather looked iffy for Saturday, but by the time Saturday morning or Friday morning rolled around, the rain was kind of out of the forecast, so decided to take my chances and go to the racetrack there and go to Lebanon Valley. And my buddy and past guest Josh joined me, and also my friend Phil Alloway. He's a listener and writer for Front Stretch, and works for Lebanon Valley, so he's there anyways. But we all watch the races together. First time there since the last time I talked about it in 2023. At least this time I got the full program in, which was good. I got there a little before everybody else. I went and did the go-karts like a little child, and
Nice.
I raced. There were two like 8-year-old kids on the track, and I kind of I didn't get into them.
Did you Max Reeves them?
No. But I kind of weaved around them, and because my kart was way faster, and I was just messing with them a little bit, but everybody had fun, and I felt like a child for a minute.
Was this before or after y'all went to that titty bar?
I didn't go. So first off, it's not a titty bar.
Great question.
It's not a titty bar. Let me explain this real quick for context. So there were no tits out. There was a bar. There were no tits out. So for anybody who's been to all our grew up in Albany, New York, and went to as many bars as I have. Down in North Albany, in kind of the Port District, there's a place called Thatcher's. And Thatcher's is famous for the fact that it's just a working class bar, and it's also a bikini bar. All the waitresses are wearing bikinis.
Bikinis, sorry, my bad.
Back in the day, they don't do it anymore, apparently, but back in the day, if you tip them, they'd pop a titty out for you. And they could also, if you want to play basketball, they'd open their G-string and you throw a $5 bill down there.
That's some town pump and Tulsa shit right there. That's awesome.
Yeah. Very, very, very infamous in the Albany community. And I did end up there Thursday night with some friends, and there was only one waitress working, and she just had a thong on, but...
How many shots of Rumpelmans did you have while you were there?
I didn't have any shots. So some guy decided to buy all of us. I was with 4 other people. Decided to buy a round of shots. I didn't have one, but my friend Toby decided to start drinking Goldschlager for no reason at all. Doing shots of Goldschlager in the bar. So
I like Goldschlager.
I'm not in shot form. But yeah, so that's the Thatcher story.
Okay.
Back to Lebanon Valley, though.
We don't have to go back to Lebanon Valley. We can keep talking about Thatcher's if you want. They got Big Buck Hunter in there?
No, I actually think they do.
Of course
I think they do have it in there. They did have a Busch official beer of NASCAR Light that I tried to buy, and the woman was not into it, so
not happening.
that was a bummer. But anyways, back to Lebanon Valley. So obviously I've talked about the food there many times. It is the best racetrack food I've ever had in my life, and of course I took full advantage of that. I forget that they call their sandwiches grinders there, so I got a nice big meatball grinder, and I got my fries, best fries in the world. I will also mention there's a very funny sign that I almost stole, but I was like, man, if I get caught stealing this, I'm going to be the biggest fucking asshole in the world. At the French fry booth, there is a little sign they put out that says, for an additional cost, cheese is available at the bean booth. They have an entire booth that just sells baked beans. And
hell yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's very, very funny.
Why do you both have cheese stories this week?
You want cheese, you gotta go to the bean booth.
Did you at least take a picture of it?
Oh, I did, yes. I will send it to the group right now.
Yeah, I need to see this immediately.
Track attendance was kind of light, especially for the fact that, Lebanon Valley has had a lot of rainouts this year. I think Phil was saying 8 races have been rained out so far this season.
Yeah.
And it was also the Fonda versus Lebanon Valley night. Fonda finished up their regular season a week or 2 ago, so a bunch of the regulars came out for that. The you got the picture? Yes.
That's amazing.
Tremont cars were dog shit. Like Montgomery, man, Kenny's son. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if the car is bad or just he's awful. But like his other driver, Matt Papello, like he did okay. But Montgomery, like he was a half lap behind the entire field in this heat, and even though he made the main, they just put his car in the fucking trailer. There were like 6 or 7 classes, and the pro stocks were definitely the menaces of the night. Just tons and tons of cautions in their heats, even in the last chance qualifier. They ended up running that after the big block feature, which thank God they did, because Phil was saying that race was over an hour and there was a huge crash on the front stretch with cars flipping down the front stretch. So very glad we didn't stick around for that. And Mark Johnson, he won the big block feature, and it was a decent show, but just glad got a night of racing in at my home track and had a good time. Was out of there by like 10 o'clock, so,
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my Lebanon Valley trip for the year. There's a very, 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 very slim chance I go back home in another couple weeks for the 200, but probably not, if I'm being honest with myself.
Well, you let me know. Is that a Thursday or a Saturday night? Because I know they run Thursdays sometimes.
It's a 3-day show, and the main starts on Saturday, like in the afternoon, because it's a 200 lap race with live pit stops, so it'll be a long one.
Meet up at the bean booth.
Yeah, I'll see you at the bean booth.
Oh, and didn't even mention, they still have piss troughs. It's all piss troughs.
Yes.
Perfect.
Very nice. At Loudon, by the way, I did not do anything but porta potties. But there's I don't know if the single trough over towards turn 3 still exists, but here's hoping it does. But that's not a short track. I don't care what NASCAR says. We're in the septic tank, baby. And there was a lot going on this weekend. I didn't watch as much as I would have hoped to. Obviously, pretty preoccupied being at Loudon. Didn't get back to my house till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So I did get to catch some A-mains, but still a lot of stuff to talk about here. Flow Racing Night in America had a couple of races throughout the week. Of course, that's Flow's big super late model series. We actually talked about Marshalltown, as that was on TV as we recorded last week's episode. Bobby Pierce picked up a win there. The following night at Mason City, Hudson O'Neill was the class of the field. He picked up a nice win there. Bobby Pierce did a cool thing and just doored the fuck out of Nick Hoffman, which pissed him off, rightfully so. That had me shouting on my couch on a Wednesday night. But Nick Hoffman did get revenge at the line. He did Hoffman did nip Pierce to the line by like 100th of a second or something like that. And looked like a pretty nice little piece of redemption until Jake O'Neill slowed immediately in turn 1 and Hoffman just destroyed his car. So, rough night for Nick Hoffman. One of my favorite things in racing is the incredibly awkward victory lane photo. And this one was right up there. I'll try and find it. We can post it because, again, Hoffman was not happy with Bobby Pierce. And neither was I. So, World of Outlaw late models were at Maquoketa for the Hawkeye 100. Hudson O'Neill won again on Friday night, so he's on a little bit of a tear right now. Good for him. On Saturday, we had another big one. Of course, we had that really big one at Florence during the North-South, and we had another version of this in turn 4 on Saturday night. Clayton Stuckey got sideways on lap 13. And then most of the field piled in there. Tyler Erb, Nick Hoffman involved. I almost said Reed Sorensen, but that's not him. Dustin Sorensen, Justin Dooney, Brent Larson, Dennis Erb Jr., and Ethan Dotson all involved in this. Tyler Erb and Nick Hoffman they flipped, and they ended up on their roofs. But don't worry, folks. They were able to flip those cars back over and continue racing. So maybe Brian's right about the safety of these dirt late models, because... But yeah, Hoffman and Erb were out there emphatically telling their teams to get ready and directing the tow truck drivers to not fuck their shit up. And as soon as I got them back on all 4, they hopped back in and they started right up and they worked their way through the field. Hoffman ended up finishing 9th, and Tyler Erb rallied back to 11th. So decent nights for them, despite the fact that they were both involved in flips. Everybody else in that, not so lucky. I think Ethan Dodson was out after that. Dennis Erb might have gotten back out there, but I can't remember. It doesn't matter, really, if I'm being honest. Bobby Pierce picked up the win. Hudson O'Neal coming in second, again capping off a big week for him. Jonathan Davenport, Brien Shirley, the Squirrel, and Brandon Shepard rounding out your top 5. And also shout out to T-Mac. He got a 6th place out of the deal. So, Brian, I don't know if you're still at the table or not, but T-Mac getting 6th place. World of Outlaw Sprint Cars, they were at Ogilvy this weekend. Sheldon Hodgshield picked up a win there. And over at the Jackson Motorplex on Saturday for the Fent Showdown, Logan Schuchart put it in victory lane and did his best Fent lean down there, bobbing his arms around. Good for Logan. Love to see the 1S in victory lane. Love that shit. Totally forgot High Limit ran, even though I watched these races, as did Truelove, but I was kind of in a fog by the time these happened. Corey Day, big weekend for him. He swept both of them. Any notes from this one, Truelove?
Well, you kind of skipped over the one that I actually watched, which was Santa Maria on Thursday night.
Oh, fuck, you're right.
And Corey Day did not win that one. He had a pretty bad flip in it.
Yes, he did. Tell us about Santa Maria, because obviously I don't remember this one at all.
I don't have any notes about the race. My only notes were that during the 4-wide salute, they played Bush's Machine Head, and that really got me amped up.
Hell yeah.
And then when it was time to go green, the announcer, I don't know, I thought it was just kind of awkward. He was shouting. He was like, "We are."
Oh, yeah.
Green.
Chase Roudman. Yeah. I hate that shit so much.
Oh, it's awful.
Wait,
Very
are
annoying.
green. One time Tyler Courtney was in the booth and he cut him off and said green early, and it just threw him off so much.
There was an incident at one point, I don't remember who it was, but there was a great shot on TV of one of the crew guys, the back of his t-shirt as he's working on the car, and it was like an AI photo of a driver in a fire suit on a toilet, and it just said in big letters, "This shit is fast." So it was great. But yeah, my only note was it was just a rough night for Casey Kane. He started 16th, finished 15th. So and
What a shame.
Aaron Rutzel wins. So
Yeah, Aaron Reitzel. By the way, Aaron Reitzel also announcing that he's running the Gateway Dirt Nationals. Can he win that? Answer's also no, but he'll probably do a little better than Cletus does. He's running one of Gordy Gundaker's cars, so actually, maybe. I don't know. That's a tough crowd, but yeah, Gordy brings good shit to the Dome, so we'll see. But yeah, Aaron Reitzel, always a good one to bet on, and definitely this weekend for High Limit action. Which you can watch some of that on Prime as well. So we'll be able to shout those out here in just a second once we get to them. Cars Tour race was fucking awesome this weekend. At least the finish was anyway. They were out at Anderson. Carson Lofton won in a 3-wide finish over Connor Jones and Chase Bergeson. Mm-hmm. Yes. Stoked for Carson Lofton, though. He barely got that one pulled out. Also, Landon Huffman was mad as hell at Tyler Reif. Understandably so. Reif wrecked the shit out of him. And Landon went down and really let him know he wasn't happy. Just kicked the shit out of his door. Gave this unhinged interview. And I don't blame him. But he's talking about how Tyler thinks he's the shit because his dad builds fucking windmill parts or something like that. I don't know. But
I saw a comment of someone saying that Landon Huffman has the Grant Enfinger voice, and now I can't unhear it. So.
I don't know about that. No, I can't agree with that.
Also at Bowman Gray, a couple of notes from that. Burt Myers picked up his 12th modified title at the stadium. A lot of people were pissed because the race got called early, but I think Burt would have got it anyway, so whatever. Shout out to Burt Myers. And the Kyle Busch Invitational happened on Friday night. I watched a little bit of this. Truelove, did you watch any of this, Brian? You guys?
No.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. It was a great event. I mean, I was a little disappointed in how sparse the crowd was, but I mean, I think they raised a lot of money for Bundle of Joy, and it was just kind of touching. I mean, Samantha, she did a speech before the race, and she also did the command, but she said that this was an event that Kyle wanted to do before he passed, so
Yeah.
I think they're going to try to make it maybe an annual thing, but yeah, they had a little Bandoleros race at the started off. There's 18 cars in it. The Rue Reeves kid was in that. So just can't escape these fucking Reeves kids.
Yeah, Carson Sherman picked up the win in that feature.
And then the Legends, Brexton won his heat race. He started 5th. There was just a ton of fucking wrecks through this whole thing. It was a little chaotic. Burt Myers did not make the Legends race. Failed to qualify. Yeah, not too many notes from the race. It was just caution after caution after caution after caution. Braxton started 5th. He ended up finishing 6th. He was on like a tear there at the end, but there was just so many cautions that kept fucking him up with the restarts. So
Yeah.
some kid named Preston Risley won, and then he did the bow, which was nice, and then he started cussing, making fun of the second place guy, and then he cried over his grandma, and then
It's a raft of emotions. Yeah.
quite the roller coaster. Yeah.
Well, good for him.
A nice little touching event, though. Brexton, man, they talked to him before the race, after the race. That kid, he is so well media trained, just like Keelan Harvick is. So
Yeah. I mean, he practically runs the Tulsa Shootout broadcast now. So, yeah, Brexton's a cool kid for sure. Yeah, it sounds like they'll do it again, and we'll talk about it next year when it happens. So, and check out the Bundle of Joy Foundation. It's cool shit. Lots of short track racing coming up this weekend. Also, some of this on Prime as well. So, like Truelove, you can watch along at home if you don't have a Flow account. Lucas is going to be at Port Royal this weekend. And by the way, Butterbean Queen is running this one, so that's pretty cool. Get to see him in a dirt late model. And he's got pretty much the exact same paint job as his Cars Tour car with the Super Mario font and all that. Only this one's black, so it looks dope. I will be buying that diecast if it exists. World of Outlaw late models are going to be at Southern Iowa, Adams County, and Shelby County this weekend, so that's all on Dirt Vision. Can't watch that one on Prime. Lucas Show, you can watch at least one night on Prime, by the way. Silver Dollar Nationals for High Limit. Nope, I got that backwards, excuse me. High Limit's at Silver Dollar for the Gold Cup. That's it. They'll also be at Douglas County next Monday. Portions of these events will also be on Prime this weekend, so you can check that out. No charge to do that other than your normal Prime subscription. World of Outlaw Sprint Cars are at River Cities, West Fargo, and Nodak, which those are all good shows. USAC's going to be at Kokomo. That is also going to be on Prime, as well as Flow Racing. And the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour is going to be at Stafford on Friday night. Unfortunately, I can't go to that due to my duties up at Claremont, but you can check that one out on Flow Racing. And that's it for the septic tank, folks. So we're going to go ahead and flush this thing down, get all the beans and cheese flushed down here, and then we're going to talk. We're going to watch some Netflix.
Tires.
Yeah.
some flushing in this episode too.
Yeah.
There is.
This show fucking rules, man.
Oh, it's great. So, for those who don't really know much about Tires, it's a Shane Gillis written, directed sitcom on Netflix about a tire shop in small town Pennsylvania. This particular episode involves a former NASCAR driver, obviously a fictional one. Shane is a race fan. He's he's talked about racing on his podcast.
They just did Tires Night at Williams Grove.
Yeah, they just did that. Shane grew up near Williams Grove, going to the track, and still goes to the track from time to time. So Shane's a racing guy. One of the many reasons why I'm a fan of his, and not a total surprise to see him incorporate racing in some way into the show. So this was neat episode. Give you a little synopsis if you're not if you don't watch the show. At this point in this season, the gang had just had a tire promotion where they were doing like half-off tires or $99 tires or something, and they got shut down by the manufacturer and another competitor. And this episode is kind of them reeling from that. They're like taking down. The episode starts with them taking down banners and stuff and getting rid of all this promotional stuff, and everybody's all bummed out. And also, in the previous episodes, Cal, one of the mechanics, he bought an old MG convertible from, I won't say what they call him on the show, but the Italian guys across the street that work at the body shop. And he bought this old MG and fixed it up, and he's trying to figure out if he should keep it or if he should sell it. This will play into the episode, so that's why I'm mentioning it. So they're in the shop, and we see Ron White from the Blue Collar Comedy Tour and stand-up fame. He comes strolling in, kind of looking like...
Shit.
Sort of like shit, but like him, like what he normally looks like mixed with John Daly a little bit, I would say. He's smoking a cigar, and he asks where to set up for the meet and greet. Will, the manager, has no idea what he's talking about and doesn't even know who he is. So Ron starts rambling and talking about who he is, and finishes up by saying, well, I'm Ron Dobbins, the 2003, 2004, and 2006 Winston Cup champion. Now, this is where I got to push back on Shane a little bit. I mean, obviously he's not as knowledgeable about NASCAR as we are. There was no Winston Cup champion in 2004, 2006, because the Winston Cup was done in those years. So, but whatever, for the show's sake, it's fine. I'll let it slip.
There's also no Ron Dobbins. So.
No, there's also no Ron Dobbins. And
Kenseth and Kurt and Johnson erasure is what this is.
Yeah.
So come to find out that Phil, Will's uncle and Shane's dad, who owns the tire shop now, set this up without telling anybody as a way to reconnect with his son Shane, who they're kind of, Shane's not happy his dad's running the business now, and they have a lot of issues between themselves. So, but Shane grew up as a NASCAR fan, was a big Ron Dobbins fan. That's why he did this. And also, Ron is a alcoholic who has tarnished his career in many ways. So the meet and greet was not very expensive. Phil does warn Will to not let Ron drink, which, surprise, surprise.
They immediately let him drink.
Yeah, they immediately let him drink. Shane is... meanwhile, nobody recognizes Ron at all. Not anybody in the shop, not any of the customers. Nobody recognizes him except for Shane, of course. And he's confused as to why he's there. Shane, in explaining Ron to Will, he's very excited. He goes, he's a NASCAR driver that's drunk. That's crazy. He got in a fight with a guy on ESPN Live. And Will, he's not really a sports guy, so he has no idea what the fuck's going on. Ron ends up meeting Cal outside, looking at the car. He mentions owning one after winning his first title and wrapping it around a pole while getting a hand job. But he does note that the girl did live. She just had a limp afterwards. Warns Cal to hold onto the car tight. Cal, again, doesn't recognize him immediately, but eventually does. Let's see here. Sorry, I lost my spot in my notes. Okay, so Shane and Will, they're watching the ESPN fight where Ron goes on the show and almost immediately is kind of called out for being a drunk by this other host, and that starts the fight. Will wants Ron to leave, but Shane won't let him. He obviously wants him to stay there. The meet and greet starts. No one's there at all. One customer runs into him, has no idea who he is. Ron goes off on trying to explain his career by mentioning a Chili's commercial that he did with a dwarf that was disrespectful to the dwarf, apparently. Ron ends up doing a promo for the shop and ends up mentioning the tire deal, which is now no good anyways. So they tell him to delete it. I also should mention that the backdrop that they have for him shows a car that in no way, even if Ron existed, that he would have been driving. Like, it's some weird, almost like a car they're driving, not the Gen 7 car. It looks more like that than anything that Ron would have driven. Ron ends up, he's kind of bummed out. Nobody's showing up for him. He talks about how he used to be recognized everywhere, and he pretended to hate it, but now he misses it. Shane starts cheering him up, talking about the old days, and mentions his catchphrase, which is, "All I need is 2 women and 4 wheels," which it's pretty good. Very Tony Stewart-esque, I would say. Shane steps in and mentions that he's going to help with the promotion. He's got a friend at the radio station, as Will and Shane were just on that. It was like a shock jock show, and it got pretty X-rated, I should say. They had the radio call it out. They also have this stripper that Will had slept with come down and film a video of her shaking her ass to put on Instagram. Ron hears the radio promo and he gets excited, and then we see a fan wearing a Jeff Gordon jacket walk into the shop and says how excited he is to meet Ron, and then immediately serves him divorce papers, and then leaves the jacket and the hat on the table, and Ron tries to autograph it for him, and the guy wants no part of it. Also in the background, Cal is trying to sell his car to a guy that really has no idea what he's looking at, and the guy tries lowballing him, and Kyla, the woman who works at the shop, kind of helps talk Cal out of the deal. So the car stays there, but unfortunately, Cal leaves the keys in the car, which that's not a good idea. Back in the shop, still nobody's showing up for Ron, but everybody's drinking and having a good time. There's a local newspaper writer that shows up. Previously, they had a bad experience with this newspaper writer. So he's here to report not on Ron, but on the controversy surrounding the tire deal. Will kind of just is completely honest and talks about how he got fucked over by everybody, and it's in a bad situation, and he's just bummed out about it. And to everybody's surprise, the newspaper reporter kind of takes sympathy on it and relates his own story to getting fucked over in a job, and even has a drink with the guys. So now he realizes there's an interesting story here, and he decides to stick around. While this is happening, Ron wanders out to take a piss, and this is when he notices the MG has the keys in it. So he decides to take it for a joyride. Cal hears the car being started, runs out of the shop. Within seconds of Ron getting in this car, he wrecks it. So now in the shop, the fans are waiting for the meet and greet. There's actually people had showed up finally. So, dude wrecks the car. All the fans come out. He cuts this promo about the shop and how cool the shop is, and ends up getting a DUI, and that is the end of the episode. So, obviously, great show. Love this show. What I really want to talk about, though, is who do you think Shane modeled this guy after? Like, there's not really too many. There's not really too many drivers. I mean, Kurt Busch, he's had some troubles, obviously, but not to the level of this driver, Rob Moroso. But that's a much more tragic story. Tony Stewart, I maybe a little bit. Tony was kind of a partier, never really got in any legal trouble or anything like that. And, I guess the nice thing about NASCAR is there's not as many really negative stories about drivers doing fucked up things like there are in so many other sports. We have a few, but, compared to other sports, the list of drivers that have done shitty things off the track is very small.
This struck me as a little bit more like some of the folks he might have seen at the Grove and in sprint car tracks.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Or just letting Ron White be a degenerate, which is always good entertainment. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said at the beginning of the episode, very John Daly-esque, so that's probably where Ron got his inspiration.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I thought it was good. Going back and rewatching this, it wasn't as racing heavy with, racing jokes and tidbits as I thought it was going to be. It's kind of more just about this guy, former champion that's like a nobody now, which is not really the case. I mean, even, it's not like too many past champions make a ton of appearances, but they're all pretty revered throughout the NASCAR fandom. So, I can't imagine seeing, Joey Logano in 20 years in this position,
It'd be funny, though.
Yeah.
His hair's all grown back, and he's just fucking wasted. Yeah. Cool Joey.
Like Noah Gregson's future path.
Yeah, that definitely, I could see Noah going down that route.
Doing a meet and greet at the Long John Silver's.
Especially if you factor in his dad, too,
Yeah,
Although hopefully Noah's learned from that.
Yeah. No, I loved this. I love tires. In fact, after this episode wrapped up, I just let it play, and was reminded how much I love that episode where they go to the Women in Business meetup. That one's really funny.
That's this season.
That's this season. Yeah, I started watching the new season.
I've got like 4 episodes left of the new season. It's good. It's a lot more, I don't want to say sad, but it's a lot more dramatic than the previous seasons. But good. But just, different.
Yeah. Tires rips. Watch it. What'd you think, Truelove?
Yeah. I haven't got to watch the new season yet. I'm very excited to watch it, though, because I love this show. It's one of those shows that's like me and Andy used to watch together, but he's on tour, so.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you gotta wait.
I love this show. I have to wait. I just have to sit here and wait.
Fuck. It sucks.
I'll just go back and rewatch the first 2 seasons.
What do you say, Brian? We're going to watch season 4 for next week's video of the week.
No. I mean, there's other NASCAR sitcoms and racing stuff, but
we still got to watch Coach, too.
Got to watch Coach. I almost picked that, but I didn't want to watch 2 sitcoms back to back. Obviously this weekend is Daytona, but next weekend is the Southern 500. So I picked 2 videos.
Is it already?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yep.
First video, there are a lot of the 50s and 60s Southern 500s on YouTube. They're all short, because, obviously there's no live broadcast or really TV broadcast at many of these races. But I decided to pick the 1961 Southern 500. It's only 28 minutes, so
cool.
Again, it's interesting. I kind of skimmed through it, and the video quality is good, and the announcing is funny.
That's not a NASCAR Classics post?
No, it's on a channel called NASCAR All Out, which has a lot of these. So
yeah.
I don't know what the story is.
I've seen that one
with
before. That's good.
Yeah. The other video I picked, though, so I found a video titled Bojangles Southern 500 Vlog at Darlington Raceway by a guy named 3-Man Broadcast. I think this was from either 2017 or 2018. 97 views in 8 years. I skimmed through this briefly, and the last 5 minutes is him talking about the race while laying down in his bed. So I thought that'd be a perfect thing to add to the playlist. So those are our 2.
It's a step up from the one I sent you all, the guy who just appears shirtless eventually. Yeah. Did we talk about that on the show?
No,
I don't think we did.
No, we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah. 3-Man broadcast. Does he have like multiple personalities, or?
I don't know. It's only one guy. It's only one kid the whole time. So
yeah,
it's definitely like a kid who's probably late teens. So
perfect.
Yeah.
I love your algorithm. Yeah.
We're all going to jail.
So yeah, those are videos of the week, and we got Daytona this weekend. Should be very good.
Also, we got Natalie Decker's pool party happening this weekend.
Oh yeah,
that's at the Shores Resort and Spa on Daytona Beach, Shores, Florida. For $25, you can get a ticket. All proceeds going to the Marine Science Center. There's a meet and greet. Of course, live DJ, giveaways, and a grill out available for purchase, whatever the fuck that means. So go on and see Natalie and friends. at her big pool party in Daytona if you're going to be there.
I'm sure she's going to have plenty of security for the creeps that show up to that.
So.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. So, as always, you can follow us on YouTube and Instagram at Meet Me at Applebee's. I'm Speedway Screens and all the things. SpeedwayTSJ.etsy.com is the shop. And MMA Applebee's at checkout for 15% off.
Still, Snake Mountain, Truelove. I have nothing to promote, but please go like and subscribe to our YouTube so you can find these teenagers in bed talking about NASCAR videos that Brien makes.
Yeah. Yeah, poison your algorithm along with us.
And make sure to donate to Dolly's Imagination Library.
Mm-hmm.
Children getting free books, because fuck, these kids need to learn how to read.
Yeah, they don't anymore. They've forgotten. Rob Motes _unofficial on Instagram. Nothing to report here. I'll be back at Claremont on Friday night, and then I'll be parked at home on my couch for all the short track action and the the fucking Coke Zero 400, Pepsi 4, whatever the fuck it is. Daytona.
Sure.
I'll be on the couch for Daytona this weekend.
Natalie's Beach Bash.
And Natalie's Beach Bash, which is not live streamed, but unfortunately.
Cool. Well, with that, the check is here. So thanks for joining us again at Applebee's, and we'll talk to you all next week.